What's good? It's your boy JayThat'sMe. Let's get into Monday Night Raw from September the 15th, 2025. An okay show, still boring and bland. There were a couple of okay things that happened on this show. John Cena being there was great to sell his match with Brock Lesnar at this weekend's WrestlePalooza. So that was cool. I did not like the Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, CM Punk stuff. Didn't like that. AJ Lee, didn't like any of that. That was boring. So before we get into the actual review, news and note real quick. So apparently Andrade is no longer with WWE. He got released over the weekend on September the 13th. Basically, long story short, Andrade got into some trouble. And he was kind of hard to work with, according to WWE and reports and all that jazz from Fightful and Meltzer and all these guys. And so, basically, creative basically failed Andrade for the second time, especially, this time around. He was only in WWE for a year, didn't really do much of anything, except for his best of 7 with Carmelo Hayes. And neither man has basically come back for that. It wasn't him having problems with Charlotte or anything like that or whatever, but I don't know. So now that he's no longer with WWE, where does he go? He probably will go to CMLL exclusively. He might show up in AEW whenever they do like Forbidden Door or whatever, something like that. So he'll probably end up going to CMLL. And I think he should also do a decent stint in New Japan as well, because they definitely need somebody like an Andrade. Andrade's young. He's 35. So, he still has a lot left in the tank. Andrade could probably wrestle for another 10 years and still be fine. So, I think that's what he should do, is just sign with CMLL exclusively. There is no need to go to AEW. Yes, MJF tweeted out that he's going to be beating up Andrade's countrymen and CMLL and everything else and all that. And, he dared him to come fight him and all that. So that's fine. That probably will happen. So, yeah. But I think, Andrade probably just had some personal issues and stuff. His divorce with Charlotte probably hit him pretty hard. I know it hit her hard, so why wouldn't it hit him just the same? And shit happens. So I wish nothing but the best for Andrade. Talented guy. Talented. Bit of a hothead, but I think he'll be fine. I think he'll kill it going back to CMLL and doing a long stint in New Japan as well. So I think he'll be fine. All right, let's go ahead and get into the show. So let's start off with John Cena. So John Cena kicked off the show, got a really good reaction. They were in Springfield, Massachusetts, so not too far from West Newbury. And Cena, he got a mega reaction, like a mega reaction. So that was good there. John Cena really didn't say much of anything. He just put over, his niece and everything and all that. That's just all he did. He put over his niece. He said he's going to come after Brock Lesnar. The fans can't fuck Lesnar. He said something else, which is great. And, he basically just gave us a really good promo segment, really good promo segment. It was rather long, but to me, it was good nonetheless. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. This sold me on Lesnar and Cena at WrestlePalooza. Maybe Brock will show up again on SmackDown on Friday. We don't know. That could happen. We really don't know. It all depends. Hopefully it does. But I think Cena did really, really good here. Was very passionate. You know, he talked about what number 17 meant and everything. And, you know, he said that Lesnar's given him a bunch of tough challenges in the past and everything else. And every time Lesnar's given him his best shot, Cena's always came back and everything else. He said it's not about being champion. It's not about anything of that sort. It's not about being the face of the company or being in the main event. He said that he is afraid of Brock Lesnar. Yes, he is. He said that if he could fail, yes, he could. Is he going to back down? He says, hell no. And he says that for the first time on ESPN, the Beast against the last world champion, it's the final showdown of two generational titans. He tells Brock he doesn't care how many suplexes are in his city. He founded his city while taking his best shots for 20 years. And he points to a sign in the crowd that says, Cena's jorts are stronger than his jeans, Lesnar's jeans. Cena tells Brock Lesnar if he wants some, to come get some, and that was it. So really good stuff there. Thoroughly enjoyed it. This is really good, really good promo here. Really, really good promo. All right, moving on. So Adam Pearce and Jey Uso and LA Knight, they're meeting in Pearce's office. They argue. LA Knight says he wants a piece of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Doesn't matter which. Adam Pearce tells him he's not doing it by himself. LA Knight says he has just the person in mind. He says Jimmy Uso. Jay says that's his brother. LA Knight says he is, but they'll make it happen tonight. So Adam Pearce then tells Jay he should go talk to Jimmy. So good stuff there. Moving on. First match of the night. Lyra Valkyria defeats Roxanne Perez. It's a 50-50 booking. So last week, our girl Lyra lost to Raquel Rodriguez. And now she beats Roxanne Perez. So this is 50-50 booking. Yay! Good job, Triple H. Not. This is lame as shit. I hate it. So, then basically Judgment Day, that being Raquel and Roxanne, they were going to beat down on Lyra. And then Bayley comes out, and she clears the ring and gets a really good reaction from the crowd. She hits a belly to belly onto Roxanne Perez. So Bayley smiles, and she looks at Lyra. She starts to hug Joe Tessitore, Corey Graves. She begins to hug Alicia Taylor and a bunch of fans and stuff. So there's that, and she begins to, high five fans and stuff. So it was really cool there. So they're giving her this psycho chick gimmick, which I do like. That's interesting. Moving on. So Adam Pearce is backstage with Io Sky and Stephanie Vacker. Adam Pearce makes the match Stephanie and Io. They say that they respect each other and they shake hands. So the Kabuki Warriors, they show up. Stephanie tells Asuka to get out of her face. Asuka tells her that tonight Stephanie will face Kairi Sane. And then she points at her. Kairi Sane looks surprised and shocked. And then Stephanie tells Adam Pearce to say it. And Pearce says it's official. So that's fine there. Moving on. Jimmy Uso, he's in his locker room. In comes LA Knight. LA Knight tells Jimmy that he chose Jimmy for his tag team partner for his tag team match tonight. Jimmy says that he doesn't think this is a good play. LA Knight tells him last week Jimmy didn't screw him over. Jimmy says he put him in a tough spot. Tonight, LA Knight will have to find somebody else. LA Knight tells Jimmy that he's in a tough spot and walks away. All right, moving on. Penta defeats Xavier Woods. Who cares about this shit? He took out Grayson Waller and Xavier Woods. Yay. Penta wins via the Mexican Destroyer. Penta has really kind of fallen off a cliff. He had a really good time in January. He was really over from January to about April, and then after that, he went downhill. So he's been downhill for the last 5 months, and that's not good. I hate that. Penta's really good, and I wish that Triple H would get his head out of his ass and actually push Penta, because Penta's pretty solid. Moving on. Jey Uso, he's backstage, and he's talking on the phone. So Jimmy shows up. Jay tells him that LA Knight will ask Jimmy to be a tag team partner. He tells Jimmy that he has to say no. Jimmy tells him he has to, and tells Jay to listen. Jay tells him that they have Braun at WrestlePalooza. No one matters except family. Jimmy tells him that's what he told LA Knight. But he didn't take orders from Jay. Jay tells him that he didn't mean it like that. Jimmy tells him to change his tone, and he tells Jay that the last time he checked, there's no Ulafala around his neck. So I do like this, really good stuff there. Moving on. So then LA Knight's backstage, and then Jimmy says that he's down to team with LA Knight. So, that's fine. Moving on. This leads us into the worst segment on the show. That is Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins and the CM Punk and AJ Lee face-off. I didn't like this. Nothing really too much happens. Everyone's just yapping and all that jazz. That's all they really do for about a good 10 minutes. Punk put himself over. Punk put his wife over and blah, blah, blah. Seth Rollins did the same thing. The fans told Becky to shut the fuck up and all this and the third. So, basically, Punk tried to... No, not Punk, but AJ gets into the face of Seth Rollins. Seth starts to laugh. He tells her, listen, little girl, says that she's not wrong. He may not be able to predict her, but he can read her husband like a book. He tells AJ that her husband has a natural habit of leaving when things let him down. At WrestlePalooza, when his wife, Becky Lynch, rips her to shreds, she better hope that CM Punk doesn't leave her. So then AJ then slaps Seth. Seth said he never put his hands on a lady, but he knows someone who will. So Becky looks at Seth, and then Seth looks at Becky, points to AJ Lee. Seth and Becky, they argue for a brief moment. Becky leaves. CM Punk gets in the ring for a brief second. And then Becky then attacks AJ Lee with the manhandle slam, and Seth and Becky, they stand tall and celebrate and kiss each other on the ramp. So that's pretty cool there. Makes sense. Seth and Becky were playing possum. Pretty sure come WrestlePalooza, Punk and AJ Lee are going to win the match. It's not really that important. Nothing really matters. Since we're getting Cody and McIntyre on the show for the WWE Championship, this match should go on first, honestly. You might as well go ahead and get it out the way. I wouldn't put it in the middle of the card, and I damn sure wouldn't put it as like a triple threat main event, where you have 3 big matches to close out the show. You don't need that. I'd say Punk and McIntyre, no, my bad, McIntyre and Cody should be the co-main, and then the main event should be Brock and Cena, and that's what should happen. Moving on. So, Byron Saxton, he's backstage with Dominic Mysterio. Dom tells him that there's been, my bad. Byron tells Dom that there's been a lot of talk between him and El Grande Americano. Dom tells him not to worry. He's the Mega Intercontinental Champion, which is great. So Penta, we go to the back, and Penta, he's down. He was attacked by Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston with a steel chair, and then the War Raiders come in to make the save, basically break it up. Who cares about this shit? But Dom being a double champ was great. I didn't watch my bad. I didn't watch Worlds Collide. I should have, but I will go back sometime this week and watch it for sure. So I heard it was a good event, though. Moving on. This leads us into Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano defeats Dragon Lee So there's that. Poor Dragon Lee. He has had an awful time in WWE. And it goes back to him being in NXT. It really does. Actually, I kind of wish that he was still back in NXT, in my opinion, for being honest. Maybe that would serve him better, but I don't fucking know. Moving on. So we go backstage. So Bayley, she's her arguing. We hear a slam on the door, and Lyra knocks on the door and walks in. She sees Bayley sitting on a couch on her phone. Lyra asks, who is she talking to? And Bayley tells her, huh? And Lyra thanks her for helping her against Judgment Day, especially after what she said to her. Bayley thanks Lyra for showing her that idiots still exist, and that Lyra tells Bayley she never told her to come into the locker room. She could have been changing. So Bayley just snaps a little bit. So I do like this, how they're doing the split personality with her. It's more like a aggressive hugger gimmick that they're going with Bayley. I like it. She's got a split personality, schizophrenic type of character, which is fine. That's interesting. Interesting shit there. I do like it. Moving on. So Stephanie and Rhea Ripley, they show up. Rhea tells Stephanie that if she or Io, she wants either of them to know that she's coming for the title and good luck. So whatever, it's not that important. Stephanie Vacker defeats Kairi Sane in a very fun TV match, really good TV match. Stephanie wins via the SVB for the 1, 2, 3, and she did her famous Devil's Kiss. So good stuff. So Asuka gets into the ring. She's about to attack Stephanie, basically. Well, no, Stephanie's basically about to come to blows with Asuka. Io comes out, and Asuka and her have some words for a brief second, and then Asuka then backs off. So apparently we know that Asuka's going to turn heel. Her and Kairi are going to turn heel, basically, and probably cost Io the title on Sunday anyway. It makes the most sense. Io doesn't need to be champion anymore. She doesn't. And I think if you just put her in this feud with Asuka and Kairi, I think that'd be great. That'd be something good for her to do. She doesn't need to be in the title picture anymore after this, because this is a really decent story, and I like it. I like how it's developing. Moving on. So, the Bronze, they have a backstage vignette. They call the Usos the best tag team in the world in history up to now, and the Vision has them looking up at the lights. All right, whatever, who cares? So Io is walking backstage. The Kabuki Warriors, they're arguing. Io says she has to do this by herself, and then Asuka is yelling angry Japanese, and that is it. Moving on. This leads us into the Judgment Day. So they're backstage. They're toasting Dom for winning the AAA Mega Championship. Finn Balor tells them to take it easy because Raquel and Roxanne lost tonight. Raquel tells them that they're fine. Finn Balor asks Dom what's going on with El Grande Americana. JD McDonough tells Dom that they want to know what's happening. Dom tells him that it's crazy that maybe El Grande Americana just wants his respect. Finn Balor says it is crazy, and the next time he needs their help to not go see them. And Finn and JD McDonough, they walk away. Rusev then shows up, and he tells Dom that he's going to become the next Intercontinental Champion. And I do like that. That's cool. So Dom being in AAA is great. Dom doesn't need 2 titles. He doesn't. So I'm pretty sure that Finn is going to cost Dom the title at some point. And it makes sense. Who knows? This could be added to the WrestlePalooza card. I doubt it, though, because it's already stacked as is. So, yeah. All right, moving on. Main event of the evening. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, the Vision, they defeat LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. The match was okay. We've seen this 1,000 times. So, basically, The Bronze were going to beat up LA Knight. Jay comes out to make the save and everything else. They back down. Then Jay is beat up by the Vision for a small bit. And then Jimmy, he comes in. Him and LA Knight, they shake hands. And then LA Knight hits the BFT onto Jimmy Uso. And that's how the show goes off the air. That's fine there. It makes perfect sense. So LA Knight is turning heel. I would imagine that he's going to join the Vision. He's going to screw Jay and Jimmy out of beating the Vision, which is fine. This makes perfect sense. The Vision kind of must win here, in my opinion. This makes sense because this is all setting up for War Games, basically. It's going to be the Usos and a couple other baby faces taking on the Vision. So LA Knight, Seth Rollins, and the Bronze. They need one more member to be added to the Vision, but I don't know who that could be at this point in time. So, but it seems like that's the end goal to all of this, is just to lead to Survivor Series with War Games, and I think that's where it's going to lead to. But all in all, Raw was boring as shit, and it was kind of bland. I did like the John Cena stuff. That was great. Him coming out first was great. That was good. The main event was okay. LA Knight turning heel was fine. That's great. Makes perfect sense. Didn't like the CM Punk, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins stuff. Didn't like that. The matches were okay and solid. I like what they're doing with Bayley. I like the Asuka, Io, and Kairi Sane stuff. That's kind of okay too. But other than that, this show is pretty much kind of missable. But what did you guys think of Raw? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.